Maybe I'll start it again.
No, just... Oh, you're playing? I didn't know you were playing.
Sorry, just had to see the makeup department. Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of our tow car canopy video.
So if you have any questions about the canopy, let us know, and we hope you enjoy it.
Sweet. Okay, so let's get stuck into the canopy. This here is a MRT canopy. It's 1200, standard height, reinforced roof lift-off canopy. As we said earlier, on a budget, cheapest canopy I could get. So I needed lift-off because for work and stuff. So yeah, anyway, we'll get stuck into what I've done to it. So start off with, I made some latches, big heavy duty over centre latches, not the type that normally comes with them. I fabbed these up and on big square bar, and they're nice and solid. Canopy's been on there for ages. The same clips I used on a previous canopy that I had, 1900 long, which I had on another car as well, and never had any dramas with those latches coming loose or the weight shifting or anything, being heavy duty, you know, four-wheel driving and all that sort of stuff. And yep, held them on perfectly solid. So yeah, that's that. I'll start on the outside here. So I put a bit of flat aluminium, put our stickers and shit on. I got more stickers to add to it, and we were going to hopefully fill it up on a trip we had this year, but COVID lockdown put a bummer on that. Okay, so up here, power in. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but anyway, it's power in from the car. This isn't strictly needed now because I had the smart alternator turned off in the car, but I'm using that as a reference voltage now, because as you draw more current through this, the voltage will drop. So the charger that's inside, if it knows the voltage, will actually draw the right amount of power. So yeah, good. That is an inlet for a solar panel I've mounted to the roof. I have got these here. These are Rhino rack things I've just welded onto the canopy, so they stay there. I didn't want to bolt them or anything, so just tack them on there, one on the front, one on the back. Here, this is an external solar input. I've got a 300 watt solar blanket, can plug in there, charge the batteries in here, or I could plug into my Caravan, charge batteries in that. So yeah, the locks on these aren't the best, so I've got some extra stuff that I do. I'm not going to post it online because that defeats the purpose of the security, but I've got other things that I add to it to secure everything up, because yeah, T-locks aren't really the best for that. This side here we have, yeah, Bushman's 85 litre upright fridge, kick-ass or travel buddy oven, same thing, all exactly the same. Microwave, which is powered from inverter on the other side, and a bit of storage space in here. Obviously I've got some stickers, and that's my solar blanket. So in this canopy here, I put this floor in to raise the height because the normal floor is down under here. So to get rid of the lip, I just lifted it up. I had plans to put stuff in there, but nah, too hard basket, and I don't really need that little bit of space, and it's really annoying. So yeah, microwave, that opens up. I've got some foam in there, stop the plate jumping around when I'm bashing about. That's a little oven, 12 volt oven. We've cooked muffins and stuff in there and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, really good. Throw a couple of meat pies in there when I'm on site at work, and by the time I come out for smoke or lunch, they're done. So yeah, that's that. Little latch. This is the fridge. So tiny little freezer, but I've got a big freezer in the van, so I don't need a huge freezer in here, but heaps and heaps of fridge space and storage space. So yeah. Up this side here, I've got a little switch panel thing, all fuse protected. Cabin lights does the cabin lights. So I got lights up here, and they're triggered off a little limit switch. And there is a light up in here which sort of shoots through to the other side, and there's lights on the other side, I'll show you there. So yeah, cabin lights, the spares actually running the fridge, I think. Accessories is running. I've got a charger for my work tools on the other side, and DC outlets is feeding this guy here at the moment. There will be more when I get to it. This here, this is the fridge, so I can actually unplug this, take the whole fridge out if I need it for something else. This one here, this lets me just unplug and take this guy out. So these two modules here are separate, so if I need more space for a big project I'm doing at work or whatever, I can actually take that side out, a couple screws in the floor, undo the plug, microwave just unplugs, that whole panel goes straight out that way through the canopy. Yeah, and then here, this is the battery monitor for the Renogy batteries that I've got. I'll talk a bit more about those at the moment, but yeah, so it's telling me here I've got 2 batteries because I've got 2 of them. That's the current voltage, that's the state of charge, 99.5 at the moment. I've got 200 amp hours of lithium in here, and I'm currently drawing just under 2 amps, and that's because the LED lights that I've got going on. If I throw the fridge on, we should see that jump a little bit. There you go. So that's the fridge compressor kicking on. Let's go to the other side. Just quickly across the back. So I've put some more of those tie down rails on there. Got a bin bag. So all I did is I welded up some bits of aluminium extrusion. Made like a little hanger for the bag and a tie for the back. Can't go anywhere then. Another tie down rail. That's pretty much so I can put like push bike for the kids, whatever, on here and tie it off, and she's all good. And yeah, so on this side, nothing flash, just checker box. I've got up there, as you can see, it's probably about a 120 watt or something panel, I think it is. Can't really remember, I got it yonks ago. And I just welded on pretty terribly actually, but don't tell anyone. Some angle and screwed them in. And then this is this side. So this has some of, but not all of my work junk. I'll just strip all that out and then we'll have a better look in here. Okay, so this is it stripped out. This is pretty much how we travel. I do unscrew that Milwaukee base plate. So this is just lets us throw bits and pieces in here, food and stuff that we can't fit in the van, camp chairs and stuff like that. So this side, once again, it's got LED light there, and there's another one up in here. So same as the other side up there. Triggered off little momentary switch that's, can you see it? So when the door shuts, lights go off. And then yeah, I've got some tie down rails in the front and in the back. These just work if you haven't seen them before. I sort of just do this, and you just work out where you want to put one. You go, okay, I want one there. Goes in. Rated like 200 kilos. I'm not putting that much in here, so that's more than ample. All right, we'll talk about the power setup in here. So I have in here, that's a Renogy DC charger. That's a 30 amp model. They do have a 50 amp, that was the same price. I actually went to 30 because I didn't want to have to redo all the cabling from the front of the car back to the canopy. And 30 amps more than enough. Like, I'm not drawing that much power back here. That feeds these two in each box there. There's a 100 amp hour Renogy lithium battery. I went with those because they were really dirt cheap at the time. I don't know why. I think it was just before they released a new model of battery, but yeah, they were dirt cheap. I had been looking at building my own, buying some cells and building it up with bus bars and its own BMS, but for the costs that these were, it was more viable for me to just buy these than it was to try and build my own. given the current pricing of everything, if I was doing it all again, I would be building my own. And anyway, and who knows, I might actually build some for the Caravan one day. So if that happens, I'll show you how I do that. But anyway, we'll keep going. Just a quick thing on this charger. It's got, as you can see here, it's got the 4 lights. The top is the alternator light. So that's flashing. That actually means that the charger's now charging back through to the starter battery in the car, if you like. That means that the batteries in here are charged enough that the power coming from the little solar panel on the roof here is feeding back. The second light down is the solar power. So it's actually saying, yes, I'm getting solar power. And yeah, so that means the solar power coming in. The green is the batteries are connected and they're healthy, good charge. And then blue is the charge profile. So this is set up for lithium. There's a different charge profile for different types of batteries. So just be careful with what you hear and read on the internet and stuff like that. Lithium batteries do really need a higher voltage charge all the way through their charge, even right at the end. You can get lithium batteries that will work on a normal charger and all that, but you're not going to get the full capacity out of the battery as you will if you have a proper lithium charger. Okay, King's 1500 watt inverter. It's cheap, works really well. Can't fault it. Probably puts out close to 1800 watt, and yeah, hasn't skipped a beat. Really, honestly, can't fault the thing. I know it's cheap, but hey. And yeah, battery charger for my Milwaukee work gear, and that's it's there. So that's all switched. Well, most of it's all switched from up there. Obviously I got the inverter running because the microwave was on before, but that turns off, that turns it on. There you go, the microwave goes beep. This is a tip-top tradesman's tray. Yeah, reasonably happy with it. There's a few things, if I was to do it all again, I'd probably get a different tray by them, or I go someone like Norweld or one of the custom built mobs. A few things that I just see as a bit of wasted space, and it's not anything problematic with the tray, but it's just the way they've got it all set up. So we'll run through those few things. So obviously the headboard's tucked in behind this pipe, and because of the way that the gates latch and stuff, I have to space the canopy off from the headboard. So from there to about the headboard, you know, there's a good 2.5 inches, 3 inches. And then, I don't know, if I'll stand back a bit, you might be able to see the tray itself sits quite far back on the chassis. And that's partially because it's got these big runners up here, so trying to keep enough space away from this to the cab. But those aren't really needed. They're needed for a different style of tray that has this mesh here actually bolted to these. Mine's not, so I reckon all of that could have sort of come up, you know, a few inches further, but is what it is. You'll see obviously down here where the fuel is, there's all the cables and stuff. That's actually how these come, because they come with a tub. You can't get them without a tub, and that's just how the cabling is. You take the tub off and that's exactly how it looks. Never had any dramas with it anyway. Maybe if I can be bothered, I'll build a thermoplastic cover to go over the top, but I haven't yet. So yeah, it's still been all right. All right, on this tray as well, I fitted some bullet toolboxes. So these are, what you can see here, they're bolted. So I've got some plates on here. It's like I had to pack this, I don't know if you can see up in there, I had to pack this down a little bit. So I've got some aluminium section with some steel plates that are tapped, and then these bolts that are here, they just bolt into those. There's 6 of them, 2 here, and 2 back here, and they just hold those on, and been everywhere with them. Never come loose, never hanging about, flapping about. Bolts haven't come undone. So yeah, this side, there you go. Dual piston compressor and straps, tie downs and just general crap. I've modified the tray sides, so I cut these down here, just knock something up real quick. I'll probably make it look more flash one day, but serves its purpose now. I've still got the rest of the tray, so when I take the canopy off, when I take that thing off, piss it off, I can put the sides all snapped together and go the full length of the thing, so I can use it still as a normal ute. Around the back here, I'll put a tie down rail on here. I went with LED indicators. I'm sick of changing globes. They're not hugely expensive to put them on, and never ever have to think about changing globes again. You know, and the likelihood of those failing is really low. So yeah. Got a trundle drawer. Trundle drawers, you know. Caravan ramps here, moving down. I've got some recovery gear, tow bars, recovery hitches from the van, bits and pieces, shovel, tennis balls for the dog, the kid, and just general other junk. And yeah, I actually put some metal trays in here with assorted tools and stuff for when we travel. But I take those out of my work tools and stuff, so I don't end up having to have 50 million sets of tools, even though I do have heaps of sets of tools. I just, yeah, anyway. That's that. And then, so this little black bar here with those white dots, they're the reverse sensors. They came straight out of the tub. All right, down here, first things first. So the camera up here on this side, that's the standard reverse camera from Ford. And that's just been mounted there. Now when the tow bar's on, you can see the bar perfectly and that. And it does look like a really steep angle, but it's quite a wide lens, so yeah, it's pretty good. The other one, I use that just as a rear view camera, obviously with that thing on there. Can't see out the back of the car anyway, so that lets me just see if there's anyone really close behind me. It helps me with blind spots a bit. Down here, standard Ford 12-pin plug, flat plug. Came with the car. All I had to do was add a cable to it for the Caravan setup that we got. The grey Anderson connector, that's for charging the batteries in the Caravan, and then that little guy is a camera that comes from the back of the Caravan and feeds all the way through and displays in the front of the car. All right, on this side, much the same. All right, toolbox on this side. I got chainsaw, some chaps, some fuel, some earmuffs, WD-40, a hatchet. I've got some spare wheel nuts because the standard ones that come with the Rangers, any mechanic or tyre fitter will tell you that they're absolute garbage. So I've got new ones on the car anyway, and then I've got a spare set in there just in case. Okay, so just talk a bit about why we went this way. I wanted a shorter canopy. My previous one was 1900s, used to overhang this a bit, and if I had to carry fuel or anything like that, it had to go inside. Firewood had to go inside. And I didn't like that, and the prospect of traveling with a young one, and who knows, maybe we'll have more kids. I wanted somewhere I could put firewood, push bikes, wet clothes from the beach, and all that kind of stuff that wasn't inside the car. So that sort of drove me to go to this. The 1400, I had considered it, but once again, budgetary and all that sort of stuff. I got the 1200, I'm happy with it. Maybe one day, who knows, maybe someone will see this one day and sponsor us, and then I'll redo the whole kit again. But anyway, that's that. All right, so that's the end of part 2. So hopefully by the time this one gets released, we may have an opportunity to actually go away for a weekend.
Yeah, hopefully.
But
not.
We will see. So all the stuff we had in the works for this year obviously got the boot with lockdown. So next year, the year after, hopefully some big things in the works for that.
Let us know if you're interested in knowing what we were planning on doing. We could probably do a video on that if people are interested. Otherwise, we won't.
Uncounter. Already at 20. Yeah. Otherwise.